Good afternoon and welcome to 3 o'clock with SOC. My name is Maria. I'm a youth coordinator at SOC and I will be your host for today. Just give me a second while I welcome our Spanish speaking guest. Muy buenas tardes y bienvenidos a 3 en punto con SOC. Mi nombre es María, soy la coordinadora del grupo de jóvenes con SOC. Hoy nuestro programa es en inglés, pero ofrecemos traducciones al español. Para escuchar la traducción puede llamar al número que aparece en la pantalla, que es 646-749-3122 y la contraseña es 779-328-221. I'd like to share a disclaimer that the views and opinions shared today do not necessarily reflect those of SOC. And also just to remind you that you can access all of our past episodes on the SOC Facebook page. So next up, we'll just move right into our guest segment for today. We have a pre-recorded interview with Diane from Inner Beauty. Everyone, so today for our SOC feature, we will be having Deanne with us. Welcome, Deanne.
Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So Diane is from Inner Beauty. Diane, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and then your role with Inner Beauty?
So I am the executive director and founder of Inner Beauty Center. So I oversee activities of the drop-in center and outreach, and then we do have a client advocacy program. So, pardon me. And then work on the administrative aspect of Inner Beauty Center. So we've been around, starting our 9th year in September.
Okay. Yeah, could you expand a little bit and tell us a little bit more about Inner Beauty, how it got started?
Sure. So in 2012, my husband was pastoring at a church on 15th and Lincoln. We'd been there for 12 years at that point. And it was actually the year before, 2011, a woman came into our church, and she was someone who was working the streets, who was addicted. We had a significant issue with women standing on our church steps to work. It provided a really good spot. It was by a bus stop and overhang and a light and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, when she came in, she said to me, God told me if I came in here, you would help me. And initially, my thought was, well, yeah, you're a drug addict and we're a church, which wasn't a very nice way of thinking, I do admit. But once she told me her story, I knew this was a woman who was in desperate need of help. So we did help her. Her story was that she was deceived by a friend, brought to Milwaukee from another state. She was brought into an apartment that was about a half a block north of our church. And there when she walked in, there were about 6 women sitting on the floor being treated like animals. And she knew that this was not a good situation. I don't know how long she was actually in Milwaukee, but we were able to help her. We were able to help her return to her home state by connecting her with her family, and they made arrangements to bring her back. But it took about another year before I realized that she was a human trafficking victim. I didn't understand that term. I knew about gun trafficking and drug trafficking, but not about human trafficking. And so from there started this, we've got to do something. And that's when, through some meetings with other churches and other interested parties, we started Inner Beauty Center.
Wow, that's such a great story. Usually we don't hear stories that insightful, so it's great to hear that. Can you tell us a little bit about what does Inner Beauty look like typically? So I know that things have changed due to COVID, but what did it look like before COVID hit?
So before COVID, our drop-in center was open 3 days a week. That was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we had about 4 hours that we were open for women to come in and they could get a meal. And we have a clothing boutique and personal care items. And then we also had a beautician that would come in maybe once a week and provide free haircuts. And street outreach, we were going out maybe 2 to 3 times a week, depending on just how the schedules worked out. So once COVID hit, we actually shut down for about 6 weeks. And then we gradually resumed street outreach. Once we did that, we realized that a number of resources that the women would otherwise have were not available any longer. Some of the meal programs had shut down, some of the outreach groups had to temporarily stop because of COVID exposure. And so, to accommodate that, knowing that we couldn't open our drop-in center just yet, we increased our street outreach. And so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're out on the streets for about 2 hours, either mid-afternoon or early evening. And then Tuesdays for about an hour, just before the drop-in center opened. So when we weren't open, they were out for about 2 hours on Tuesdays. We, at this point now, since we have reopened the drop-in center, we provide a big lunch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then just on Tuesdays before we open, it's just a reminder to say, hey, come on in. And so there's been a bit of change. We no longer have our sleep area. We no longer have a beautician that comes in. We have to limit access to the clothing boutique by allowing just one person in at a time. And then we try to limit the amount of time so that everybody has an opportunity to go in. So it has put a strain on just how we do things. All women are tested when their temperatures are checked and they're screened. And then when they go into the clothing boutique, they have to glove and mask. When they're in the center, they have to mask unless they're eating. And so we try to spread everybody out a little bit. We're kind of confined. We're not a big area. And so so we try to, stagger where everybody is sitting so that they can still enjoy their meal. But some of the areas that are really missed is the rest area, the cots, the sleeping area that shut down, and then not having the beautician, because that was really a kind of a special bonus for the women. So yeah, so that's what the drop-in center looks like. If a woman that we've built a relationship with has decided they no longer want to be on the streets, they want help getting off, we have a client advocacy program that she can enter into through an assessment and some releases and agreements. And then we assist her in that process. And that can look different for each woman.
Yeah, for sure. Do you guys accept, just out of curiosity, do you guys accept any volunteers or any type of like donations or things like that?
We do accept donations. Right now, we are looking for winter coats for women only in all sizes. Boots, once the snow hits, we will be looking for boots or weather appropriate footwear.
Yeah.
Hats, gloves, scarves, that sort of thing. And I think we're probably okay on sweaters. So our biggest need is the jackets. Last year, we had just enough to get through, so we didn't have any surplus to start the winter season off with. So right now, anything that comes in, it quickly goes right back out. So so if they don't catch it at just the right time, they'll miss a jacket. Yeah. So we do take donations. We are accepting volunteers, and so there is on our website you can access a volunteer. It's the first page of our volunteer application, like a screening tool under Get Involved, and then there's a phone number to call to set up a time for like an interview or a meet and greet kind of thing. So we are accepting individuals as volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that brings me up to my last question, which is any contact information. So how can we get in contact with the interview?
So there's a few ways. You can You can get in touch with us through an email on contact through our webpage, which is innerbeautycenter.org. There are also our phone numbers are listed. The office number is listed on our Facebook page, which is the Inner Beauty Center. You can send an email to admin@innerbeautycenter.org as well.
Okay, perfect. And then lastly, do you have any other comments or anything that you'd want to share with us before we conclude this interview?
Well, I think one thing that is really important for community members to know is that when COVID started, we expected to see a decrease in
Mhm.
the amount of women and the activity on the streets. We actually saw a significant increase in the number of
Mhm.
women on the streets, which meant the increase of the number of buyers who were circulating the streets. And so there actually has been some documentation on that that activity there's documentation that has increased and
Mhm.
why. So there's a variety of different reasons, but so the other thing that has happened because of our increased street outreach is that we have had an increased number of women who have said, I really don't want to be out here. The truth is none of the women really want to be out there.
Yeah.
None of them want to be doing this. Um, it's just their journey in their life has taken them to this place. And so our goal is to build a friendship and then help them out. So we have had about maybe 8 to 10 women who have said, hey, please help me get
Mhm.
out. So that's been an increase and we're really excited about that. And so something that has really upset a lot of people's lives has actually worked as a positive influence for the women, to be able to say, I'm done, So, and that's the goal. If we can help any number of women, even just one, to get off the streets and reclaim her life, then we have done our job. So we continue to do that. So
Well, thank you for that information.
great.
And then thank you for everything that you do for your
You're
service.
welcome. You're welcome. Right, thank you. So anybody can have, if they have questions, even if you feel like a family member might be involved in this
Mhm.
and you have some questions about it, please feel free to either email or to call and we'll get back to you on that because we are supportive of family members as well in that situation. And sometimes we're actually able to find the individual on the streets and be able to intervene if at all possible. So it's twofold, not just for the women, but also for potential victims and family members of that individual. So,
For sure. Well, thank
okay.
you so much for being here and thank you for sharing about Inner Beauty.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you, Maria. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you to Diane for that interview. Next up is our coronavirus update with a video on how to boost your immune system.
I'm Dr. Frida, and today I'm going to give you I'm Dr. Frida, and today I'm going to give you 7 ways to boost your immune system naturally. Raise your hands if you love getting sick. No? Well, raise your hands if you like to avoid getting sick at all costs, if you want to avoid things like the common cold, the flu, and all types of bacterial and fungal and viral invasions. Well, the best way to prevent getting sick is to boost your immune system. So today, I'm going to give you 7 tips on how to boost your immune system naturally. Keep watching. I'm Dr. Frida. I'm a triple board certified physician and I practice medicine at Emory University Hospital Midtown in Atlanta, Georgia. We all want to live our healthiest and happiest lives, and a sure way to do that is to maximize our immunity. Now, you can find all kinds of very expensive vitamins and supplements online and in health stores, and many of them do have benefits. Many of them do work. However, you do not have to spend a lot of money in order to boost your immune system. In fact, if you just look in your refrigerator or in your pantry, you very likely will find that you already have ways that you can boost your immune system naturally. So let's get started. Tip number 1, drink lemon water. First thing in the morning, I want you to grab a big glass of water and squeeze a lemon into it. Lemons and other citrus fruits, such as grapefruit, tangerines, limes, are excellent sources of vitamin C. Vitamin C is an excellent booster of the immune system. It builds the immune system. It increases your body's production of white blood cells. Now, your white blood cells act like your body's soldiers. They are a line of defense prepared to fight infectious invasions. White blood cells are also key in the production of antibodies, which also help to boost your immune system. Vitamin C is also known to decrease the duration of respiratory illnesses. So if you do get sick, if you get a common cold or a viral illness that affects your breathing, the vitamin C will help you to be sicker for a shorter period of time. Vitamin C also has antioxidants, which help to get rid of free radicals and to decrease inflammation. Vitamin C is also good for digestion. If you want to find out more ways that lemon water and vitamin C are good for your overall health, be sure to check out my video on 10 healthy habits for a better you and a better life right after you finish watching this video. Click the link in my description. Tip number 2, eat garlic. Now, the odor of garlic will not exactly leave you smelling like a flower. No. But garlic is actually a part of the lily family, and it is also an excellent booster of the immune system because it contains allicin. Allicin is a compound that is pungent and oily, and it comes from crushing garlic or chopping garlic. Allicin has really wonderful properties because it increases the response of your white blood cells, and it also has antimicrobial or anti-infection qualities. 1 clove of garlic contains 5 milligrams of calcium and 12 milligrams of potassium. Garlic can also lower the blood pressure, and garlic is best eaten if it is raw or cooked as little as possible because excess heat tends to denature or inactivate the enzymes that actually help with the immune system. If you want to find out more about how garlic can lower your blood pressure, make sure you watch my video on how to lower blood pressure naturally as soon as you finish watching this video. Tip number 3, broccoli. Good old-fashioned, jolly green broccoli is another way to boost your immune system naturally. Now, in addition to containing vitamin C, and yes, broccoli does contain vitamin C, it also contains vitamin A, which helps with the production of white blood cells, specifically in fighting viruses. It also contains vitamin E, which is another antioxidant. It gets rid of free radicals, decreases inflammation. Broccoli also contains beta-carotene, which is another antioxidant, and beta-carotene is actually good for the eyes and good for the skin. And your skin is another major part of your immune system. Tip number 4, spinach. Popeye was really onto something when he used to pop those cans of spinach in his mouth, because spinach is another excellent way to...
Sorry about that. The video cut out for us. But so far what we have watched, those were excellent tips. And I hope you guys follow those to boost your immune system. Next up, we have a flyer for a community resource. So I'll just wait for that to come on. So tomorrow we have the forum, MPS school board forums that are coming up. That's tomorrow and Thursday, as you can see there on the flyer. Our SOC youth will be participating by moderating and asking questions. So we'd just like to invite you to tune in the next couple of days to listen to the candidates for the school board. Okay, so next up, I'll just give you guys some reminders of what's coming up for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, Wednesday, is our Spanish day, and we'll have Elsa Diaz from Alas. Thursday, it's our COVID-19 day, and we will have Liz Claudio from 16th Street Clinic. And then Friday is our Community Organizing and Leadership Day, and we'll have someone from Luna de Latina Unidas en las Artes. So we hope that you can all join us at 3 o'clock for the rest of the week. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and then we'll conclude our forum with the survey promo video.
Has this live forum been informative and useful to you? What part of the forum could be improved or changed to make it better? Please take our quick survey that's located in the comments section so that we can keep 3 o'clock with SOC going for residents. Thank you for tuning in.